Well, to get things started, Bruce, let's talk about the passage of the law and what it's going to mean for the Billings area.
This law means that we now will have the ability to generate funds from the hotel industry that will be used to enhance the funds that we currently get from the bed tax, and will give us 2 to 3 times the amount of money that we currently have, which is $195,000 approximately. We could be looking at around another $500,000 more that we have to go out into a lot of different markets to bring in events that we don't normally reach right now. Our director just got back from a trip to the East Coast and a trip down into Texas, going in to talk to 2 different markets, one of which was a sports market. We've never done that one before. That holds a huge potential. Anything from AAU to wrestling to table tennis to, I mean, the extreme sports. They're all looking for a place to come and come together, and they look for different places around the United States. And this gives us the opportunity to go out and work that market. And what happens, they come in here, it increases room stays, it increases the amount of money that's spent in the community. Perhaps they use a Metra, or they use the Holiday Inn Convention Center or some other venue that is available for them, even the colleges. It just brings more people in. It's nice to hit a home run with the Gold Wings or with the Harley Owners Group, but that doesn't happen very often. So this is just going to give us one more tool in our tool bag.
Now, you're talking about increasing the amount of money that the Billings area has to spend on recruitment and tourism promotion. What exactly does that money mean for Billings?
We bring right now 10 million visitors to Montana. Most of them come out here because of some type of a destination that they're going to, be Yellowstone Park or Custer Battlefield, Pompey's Pillar recently. Billings is not a destination. Billings is a stopping off point. So this gives us the opportunity to bring people in here who are going to come in and stay for 2 or 3 days for some type of an event, and then they go out and they see Yellowstone Park, Glacier, all the things that we've got to offer. So it's a benefit to Billings as well as a benefit to everything around us.
So this money would not be spent to bring people to Montana. This money will be spent to keep them in Billings a little while longer.
Keep them in Billings a little while longer. It could be used in state. It could be used out of state. It doesn't. Right now, the Travel Montana money, they specify that you cannot do anything to recruit from within the state. This would allow us, if we so chose, and I don't know that we necessarily would, but if we so chose, we can go out into the western part of the state and recruit an event for over here, in competition with, say, a Missoula or a Bozeman or a Great Falls.
As you were going through the process, what kind of support did you receive from the Hotel Motel Association and from the property owners themselves?
It has been absolutely fantastic. While we don't necessarily have 100%, we've got close. There's always some in the market that feel that our occupancy rate is high enough. If we're full, we can't put any more people in here. Why should we assess a fee against us? Or we're in a niche market. You've got some of the motels and hotels in here that cater strictly to the healthcare industry, have a little different rate structure. So that is another area that may not be quite as enthusiastic. But when you get a big event, everybody benefits from them.
And in particular, how has the Yellowstone Lodging Association supported this effort?
We did this in conjunction with the Yellowstone County Lodging Association. They were right beside us when we went up to Helena and testified. They've done an excellent job of writing letters and sending emails and making phone calls and talking to people. So, as had our other partners in the city and the county, Metro Park. This has been a community event more than anything else.
Now that the law has been passed, how long will it take to actually implement it? Are we going to see this anytime soon?
Now what happens is we have to petition to either the city or the county, we being the lodging association. Create a petition that goes to the city or county, depending on how big an area that they want to develop. The city or county take a look at it, and they can either approve it or disapprove it. Normally, these are just approved. There's not a lot of hearings or anything that goes into it, particularly where you're self-assessing yourself. And from there, a board is appointed, a budget is developed, city council, if it's the city or the county commissioners, sign off on it. They appoint the board, and then the board of the lodging facility owners is oversight.
Can we safely assume that this is a process that is going to take weeks, maybe months, but certainly not years?
Maybe years.
Maybe years.
Because
to get it implemented, it may take years.
to get it implemented, it could be as late as November of 2008 before we see funds. The first thing that happens is this does not become law until October 1st. That's the way the state statute is. Once that happens, you establish a budget, and then you need some mechanism to start collecting funds. In this case, the funds would be collected once everything is implemented, held by the hoteliers. And the traditional way is to assess it with the property tax. So property tax bills come out mid-October. We're too late to hit the mid-October of 2007. Next cycle is 2008, the bills come out. You've got an assessment on there that says TBID, X number of dollars. You pay it because you've already collected the money. You pay the second half when it comes up in May. And that's when the process starts. A group always has the option to borrow money if they want to. That's part of their mandate if they so chose. So, I mean, you can start it up, but until you got money in the bank, it's pretty tough to do much of anything.
Let's continue to talk tourism, but switch gears just a little bit. You had a disappointing loss with the expansion of the resort tax that was just shot down. Talk about that a little bit.
That bill was carried by Senator Kim Gillen of Billings. The intent of that was to add a resort tax, which right now, Whitefish, West Yellowstone, Red Lodge, Big Sky, there's one other. It's for communities size 5,500 or less that derive a minimum of 10% of their revenue from tourism, can tax up to 3% on specific tourism-related items. Hotel rooms, food, prepared food, I should say, bar, rental cars, that type of thing. We thought we had a good chance to get that passed because, as I mentioned earlier, we got 10,000 visitors, 10 million visitors to the state of Montana. If we could generate some money from those people, we basically give them a free pass. They come in and enjoy everything that we've got and leave nothing. To give you an example, the Harley Owners Group were in here last summer. Do you know the only place that they paid any type of resort tax? Red Lodge. And that's the ones that stayed there. If they stayed here in Billings, they came in and stayed, and there was no tax other than our bed tax that we've got right now. But nothing stayed in the particular community.
Playing devil's advocate on that, is that a deal breaker? Is that a make or break decision on whether or not a group will come here?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
So why the opposition? Why did it fail?
We're a big state, and it's rural versus urban, and it is everybody that lives outside of our 6 big communities that say, we come to Billings, we spend a lot of money in Billings already. We don't think we should have to pay a tax to come into Billings. Well, on a $20 meal, that was 60 cents. I mean, it isn't very much money. And the people that come in from eastern Montana, central Montana, come into Billings, always have the option to just come in for the day and go home. So, I mean, they're not necessarily even paying it on a room. So, in theory, all you're paying it on is a meal a meal or two and beer if you have one before you go home or what have you, or a room. It's not a general sales tax.
If you're buying a refrigerator here, it's not going to affect.
Doesn't affect it at all.
Right.
Not at all. So there's two groups. There's one group that says no tax. There's another group that says if we're going to have a tax, we want a general sales tax. That's it.
So Bruce, let me ask you, if somebody wants you to personally get involved in a particular issue, maybe even one that's not before the legislature and hasn't been addressed to this point, what can they do to get your attention?
All they have to do is email me at bruce@billingschamber.com or call the chamber at 245-4111 and just let me know. It doesn't necessarily have to be a legislative issue. It could be something on the city, it could be the county, it could be national. Government affairs is what I work with, and that's all levels of government. I go to a lot of the city council meetings. I'm there for the county commission meetings when it's something important. Go to various committee meetings. Follow the legislature. I get federal updates on a regular basis, so I try and keep up on an awful lot of issues.